Welcome to another episode of Shooting
the Shit with Rachel
and Neal Young. So we're talking all things real estate photography business growth, mindset, and getting it done. Here come your favorite true entrepreneurs, Rachel and Neal Young, shooting the shit.
I have a ferret on the podcast. Like if we're kind of in a slump, like what kind of things do you do?
Talking about a boob light.
Straddling a power line.
Nice photo.
Ooh, I need that.
I'm like red right now because I'm embarrassed. I go like this. I love it.
Come in.
Sure. Use your podcast voice.
You know, over here, I'm pitting out.
Drone's like flipping to the ground.
That's a great callback.
Chit-chatting.
Is that what you call that?
Hey! This episode is brought to you by my admin. Well, HD Photo Hub, which is basically like having an admin.
That's right. And it's not just a delivery platform. It's a powerhouse designed to make your work shine. From stunning teaser videos and social media reels to custom property websites and polished printable flyers, HD Photo Hub automates it all so you can focus on what matters, growing your business.
That's right. So we have an exciting guest on the podcast today. Today we're giving you the inside scoop, the secret sauce from a executive assistant's perspective. This is Rachel's executive assistant, which is Casey Farrell, who does so many things. And we're really going to just ask her a million questions to get to the core of this to find out if you're trying to find an executive assistant, what should you be looking for? What are the biggest struggles? And what has she learned since working with Rachel? Exciting.
Welcome, Casey. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I asked her if she would come on the podcast and she was like, if I have to. She's so introverted. I just love you.
You already,
I like things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Did you already plan your post-podcast nap to recover?
Yes, actually.
That's fantastic.
Love it. I love it.
So Casey, how long have you been working for me? You've been on the team for almost 2 years?
Started in 2023.
Okay.
Early 2023. So I remember when you mentioned you were looking for an assistant in 2022, and I came to you early 2023, and you said you already found someone. And I was like, okay. But I was like, she's going to call me. It's going to work. So, and then I started in May 2023.
Yeah. I had hired a gal and it didn't work out. And I was like, I'm calling Casey. And I wanted to hire you anyway, because I was like, oh my gosh, she'd be perfect. But I literally just hired this girl. Like, oh, it's such unfortunate timing. But everything happens for a reason. So,
yeah. And
I'm glad that you put that out there. And you were like, hello. So Casey has kind of an interesting situation. She actually is a business owner herself. Do you want to tell them a little bit about how, because you work for me full time, but you also have your own business. So explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So I own and manage a business as well. And I have a manager who kind of runs it alongside with me. And the thing with that business, it required me to be out of the office a lot and running around. And I really wanted to be available for my kids and be home, which is why I approached Rachel about being an assistant or an executive assistant to her. And then what I realized is how much I enjoyed kind of just being behind the scenes and not being the face of a business. So my manager has stepped up and taken over a majority of the business. But one thing that being a business owner really taught me was what Rachel would actually need, what she needs on a daily basis when it comes to customer service, or even what she needs, personally for her business to run and be successful, and for her to take the next step to be more of the visionary and taking the business to the next level.
Yeah. And that was huge when hiring you on, because I knew you had that experience. And I was like, gosh, if she's a business owner, she gets it. Like she knows how important it is that things have to be on time and things can't slip through the cracks. Like you get that. You've been there. You've walked in those shoes. So having that experience under your belt was just like so valuable to me. That's hard to find.
So what is the main role, before everyone goes, hey, what is she doing exactly for Rachel? What is the main role? What did you step into when you took this job you were so excited to get with Rachel?
Let's see. A lot of the role, it has to do with dealing with, I feel like, the reactionary things during the day. Customer service, quality control, uploads if there was something that happens to our virtual assistant and say his internet connection, communicating with photographers and being kind of the middleman between photographers and the agents, booking for agents, checking to see if there's entry codes, all the little things to make sure everything is delivered on time and completely. I do a lot of phone calls with Rachel. If she's driving, she'll give me a call and we'll just chat about social media and newsletter, as I feel like I'm on the phone with her a lot during the day.
Psst. Sorry to interrupt. If you haven't heard, Rach and I are using Pixl CRM.
Pixl CRM isn't just another boring tool. It's basically your business's best friend. With Pixl CRM, you can automate your lead generation, follow-ups, client communication, and stay top of mind with email campaigns. And there's just so much more.
And if you want, you can try it out today. Just go to pixlcrm.com/STS, and you're going to get the first month of Pixl CRM free.
So I feel a lot of it is customer service based, and then looking at marketing and growth and how to support Rachel and kind of the vision that she sees for FMC.
Yeah, so you're doing customer support, you're doing quality control on the product, and you're helping plan for the future and where FMC is going. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she also writes our newsletter. And she helps craft all the social media. Social media is kind of a group effort between me, Jan, and Casey, but Casey does the bulk of it. She writes all the captions. We've trained ChatGPT to have our tagline and all of the information about the businesses in there, so she can write captions that sound like us. It's pretty loaded with information that helps make that social media creation pretty easy and to get us ideas. So we'll have a meeting and then we'll plan out the next quarter. Okay, here's what we want to talk about for this season. It's slow season, so we're going to be doing more relatable content versus really pushing hard to just sell, which is what we do in the spring. So we talk about strategy with that and then come up with a game plan. And then we use ClickUp to communicate to all of the social media needs, and we just assign tasks to each other. And Casey has to remind me to go in and check my tasks because I forget. She's like, we're just waiting. I'm like, is there a post today? She's like, well, we were waiting on you and you didn't get me what I needed, so it's not going out. And I'm like, well, crap. Okay. I'm failing. Fire me. I'm fired. But she is really good at being organized, and she doesn't have ADHD. So it's great.
That does sound nice.
Isn't that nice? Hanging out with someone who doesn't have ADHD.
Yeah, no ADHD. She just stands there and watches you bounce around.
She's like, oh, she'll come back eventually.
Eventually she'll calm down. She's on a sugar high.
You're back.
She had sugar.
Yeah, sugar's bad. But no, she does a lot. And the marketing piece has been huge. I did have a social media manager before that was doing all the social stuff, and then bringing her on, that was part of the role that she had to take on because I couldn't afford both. So it was like, well, this will kind of be part of your job. And she's like, okay. Like, she didn't know a lot about it when she started. So it was fun to work together on that and get her up to speed. And now she's kicking butt. So, and we've bought courses. Well, I bought courses on how to do social media and stuff, and Casey's gone through them. I always send her reels on social media that help to educate, and things that I'm learning, I'm sharing with her. So we kind of have that same mindset when it comes to marketing. So it's nice to have somebody that's willing to learn. She's open to learning. She enjoys it. And then being able to have an adult conversation about it is great with someone that's going through it with you. It's awesome. So it's been really, really, really nice to have her on the team for sure.
Rach, can you imagine if you had to go back to a world pre-HD Photo Hub?
Oh, no way. No, HG Photo Hub literally saved my life during the COVID craze. With online ordering, their invoicing, the photo delivery, the Google integration, and just having everything on one platform, HG Photo Hub really does it all. And I cannot imagine my business without it.
Same. Pre-HD Photo Hub, I feel like I was just spending all my time chasing my own tail. It was horrible. Mm-hmm. The good news is our listeners get a special deal. If you enter the code STS, you're going to get 10 free full marketing kit deliveries. Remember, enter the code STS. Sounds like it would have been easier to say, what don't you do? She doesn't go out and do the shoots.
Right. She doesn't.
I've been asked. She asked me before.
You're like, oh no, you don't want that. So Casey, can you walk us through a typical day in your role for the business? Like, what do you do every day?
Yeah. Typical day. Honestly, the first thing I do after I grab my coffee is check to see if there have been any urgent needs that came through either from a text from Rachel or an email. Usually things like booking a same day shoot or canceling a shoot that needs to be done right away. if nothing like that happens, then I kind of go about my day getting my kids ready for school. And then when I come back, usually between 8 and 10 or 11 is when I'm doing a lot of the marketing, social media, newsletter, anything like that. Usually that's kind of a quieter time in the day when it comes to communications from agents or photographers. It's usually after about noon when everyone receives their media is when the requests start coming in for either booking, more shoots or an editing need or a video need or something like that. So that's usually till about 3 or 4, hopefully. And then the evening requests are usually about booking shoots for, kind of the next day or next, few days. So it's a lot of marketing in the morning and then customer service between like noon and 7.
So what are your typical hours throughout the day?
So between the months of March and like August, I would say probably 7:30 a.m. And I've been uploading till about 8:30 at night sometimes, depending upon the needs of the clients. Yeah. Some days are a lot shorter. Some days are 8 to 7. Or even, more of a 9 to 5 because nothing really happens. But during the busy season, it's very long hours.
Yeah. And then do you find that you have little gaps in between? Because you're not always answering phones, right? You have these little gaps where you're kind of just on call, right?
Yes. So yeah. I feel like the most, I don't want to say difficult, the most taxing thing is always mentally being available. Always being ready for the phone call, always being ready for the email. There's always something that you have to be ready to do. So you're on, but you're not necessarily working during those hours. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yep.
And how do you manage that, Rachel? Is it an hourly role or is it a full-time role?
It's a full-time salary role. And I always feel bad because I'm like, this is a lot of hours and stress on you. Like, how can we have it turn off at a certain time? And then I take over the evening, on certain days of the week or something, or even like weekends. We still haven't dialed in weekends because like technically she shouldn't really be working weekends. But she'll hop on. She's fantastic. She just gets it. She helps. It's amazing. But, if someone else hired an admin, you can't expect them to work 12-hour days, every day.
Right.
And be available on the weekends. Like you have to figure out who's going to take care of the customer service on the weekends.
Yeah,
unfortunately, this is where the business owner mentality comes in as having the business, being the business owner is you're never off, unfortunately. And I try to turn off and it can be difficult to do that. But I do think to myself, okay, you're done. You don't have to do this right now. It's not an urgent need. It's just an important need. So this can wait until tomorrow. But things that are urgent, I just think to myself, like, this is going to be on my brain until I wake up tomorrow. So I'm just going to get it done and just be done with it.
Yeah. It's going to keep you up at night.
Yeah. And I think when you have your own business too, you have a different perspective because it all falls on you. And I think once you've had your own business, you think that thought probably like, if it were my business, I'd want this done right now because it's important, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't have that. They're not tapped into that feeling because they've never been on that side of the table. So they're just like, I'm off the clock. They don't care. Yeah.
That's true. And I think as this role evolves, we'll be able to find that balance because this is a role that she's never had for anyone before. And when we come out of a busy season and we reevaluate, okay, so how did that go? What needs to change for next season to make sure we don't have burnout? And then we adapt and make changes from there. And I feel like that's why I don't mind doing that is because these hardships are temporary. Because I know it's something that will evolve into more of a balance as we find kind of what that role is for me. And if someone else needs to step into a different part of the role or how we can offset and different responsibilities.
Or some kind of fill in for off hours sort of admin to just cover that stuff in the meantime, right? Or something.
Yeah. We've set up like auto replies after, I think it goes out after 6. It's like, you're outside of regular business hours. We'll get back to you by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning or whatever. If it's an emergency, I don't know what we say, something, but Anyways,
Good luck.
you're on your call Rachel's cell phone, personal number. Here it is. Don't do that. No,
Rachel's out riding her horse. Tough luck.
Rachel's not answering the phone. It's not in her pocket. That's been the weirdest thing is like actually leaving my phone in the house for like 2 or 3 hours and then being out there riding and doing my thing, picking up poop and like realizing that like I haven't checked my phone in 2 hours and it's probably fine because Casey's going to handle it because she's amazing, that kind of thing. It's weird.
Yeah.
It
is fun. And that's the other flip side of it too, is most of the stuff, nobody's dying.
Right.
And being the business owners, we do have that like, oh, we got to solve this problem right away. But most of the time when I haven't been able or didn't see that urgent message or whatever, later I come to find out it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like, oh my gosh.
I know. Yeah. I used to just jump. Like as soon as somebody needed something, I would check my email 100 times a day.
Yeah.
And now it's like, when I do that, so many people are like, oh, you don't need to do it right now. You're fine. Just do it later. And I'm like, well, I kind of want to just get it over with, get it done. So it's off my plate. So I don't forget because I will forget, but yeah.
Or that simple question of, hey, when do you need this by? And then the answer they come back with is totally different than what you had in your head. You're like, oh, I thought it was like, you need it in an hour. They're like, Wednesday.
Yeah. You're like, oh, geez. Okay.
What?
We can do that.
Why is it in all bold?
All right. Right. Okay. So Casey, can you explain to us kind of how you prioritize your tasks when juggling like customer inquiries, social media, and like team management? How are you prioritizing these tasks?
Yeah. So understanding in my mind, I know what is like the number one most important, and it's kind of what is going on in that day. So if a teammate if a photographer needs entry codes, if a photographer needs, communication with an agent, that's priority. And I feel once I sat down and realized in my head and categorized kind of the things that are urgent versus the things that are important, then when they come in, I write them down. I have a task list. And in that task list, I have a note where I write their urgency. And so as I'm going through, as everything comes through, I write it down. It doesn't matter what it is. If a photographer mentions that we need a change on an order, I write that down and I put L for low urgency or, it's low importance. It still needs to be done. My task lists get done every day, but it's low priority. So I just do that for every single thing that comes through. So by the end of the day, nothing has fallen through the cracks. Everything is finished, but all the high urgency things got done first.
That's
so
awesome.
that's kind of usually how I prioritize and manage that workflow.
Yeah. I know the shooters have complimented you at our team meetings. They've been like, Casey, you really have helped the team along and made it easier. Like they always have the information that they need, like things that I was slipping because I couldn't do it all. I was struggling. They've mentioned that you really have been a huge addition to the team. So I know they appreciate all that you do. So you really do make a difference on the team. It's important to have that. You just kind of make sure that everything goes smooth, really, from start to finish. And you catch the little snags that would make us trip before we trip.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually, I really enjoy the challenge of, I don't want to say that the snags have to happen, but I enjoy finding those snags and fixing them before it gets to the photographer. It's kind of a little pat on your back moment. Like,
yeah,
I did a thing.
Save the day. You didn't even know it.
Go, Casey, go, Casey, go.
What's an example of something like that? Do you know of something where that's kind of happened, where you saved the day, some little thing that was going to ruin a photographer's day?
A lot of it is honestly entry information. When I'm waiting for entry information, we changed it within HD Photo Hub to be able to, where that's a requirement that they have to put it in there. But before it was me reaching out, and sometimes it would be last minute. So as the photographer is showing up, I'm sending them the entry information. And so then it just ran smoothly from there versus it wasn't in there. So they have to contact me. I contact the agent and all the
Gotcha.
Communication has to happen.
Yeah, because you guys out there is different than here. The majority of your shoots are vacant and they need a code to get in and the agents aren't there a lot of the time. Is that correct?
Yeah. And some of the codes and lock boxes, I just had one the other day that was behind this hidden wooden box underneath where people get their mail. And I'm thinking, how would anyone find that?
Yeah.
So I had to send the information and the photo, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
Wild. Sometimes you're like, why would you put it there? Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you deal with the electronic lock boxes at all? They had those down in Florida when I had a shooter down there, and I'd never heard of that before. But you had to like get approved. You had to join this platform. You had to pay for it just to be approved to be able to have the access to these codes to get into these houses remotely. Instead of having keys, they were electronic. Yeah.
No, I haven't dealt with those. Thank goodness. I hope never.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, why can't you just put a key in the thing like everybody here does? Yeah.
Exactly.
What skills do you think are the most important for someone in your position?
I feel the skills needed are, a lot of them are kind of personality based. I feel like technical skills, a lot of them can be taught. But if for someone in this position, I feel problem solving skills, number one. You have to be able to know how and where to find the solution, because you'll get these random questions. And I always equate it to like having a conversation with my two girls. I'll be talking with them in the car, and one of them asks the most, amazing question. Like, where do we come from? Who is God? And you're like, oh, this will be a fun question to answer. And you just talk to them. And you're like, oh, that was great. And then the next one, then Isla comes around and is like, does God have a butt? I don't know. I guess I'll go find out,
Rachel, does God have a butt?
Oh, no.
You get these questions that range from that are just so broad that you have to be ready for anything and know where and how to find the answers to almost anything. And so problem solving skills are number one. And then critical thinking, being able to, figure it out on your own. And there's times where I do ask Rachel, there are certain things that I don't quite yet feel qualified to answer. And it usually has to do with if financial, if I'm charging the right amount for something, if it's something that is kind of off the books that we don't normally do, that I want to make sure that I charge correctly. That's usually where I really feel I'm not, 100% confident. And so I'll talk to her. But critical thinking, being able to kind of think on your feet, and then like there's adaptability is huge. Being able to adapt and change. Your plan in the day is going to change, and you have to be okay with that. Understanding that the goal is always going to stay the same. So planning and then changing that plan and changing that plan. There was one time, oh my gosh. So I will never say this again. I think it was around 1 or 2 o'clock. And I told my business manager who was running my business, I said, things are kind of slow. Oh my gosh. I never said that. Never. I swear it was right then. I got request after request after request. I wasn't done. And I remember uploading the last images at 8:45 that night. Jeez. Going, why did I say that?
It's uncanny, right? Oh my God.
Oh, so I was like, fine, okay. So just being able to adapt to, I had this plan of, oh my gosh, it's not going to be too bad. Yeah, it didn't end that way. It ended with, I made the goal. The goal was done. Everything was taken care of, but the plan changed significantly. And then communication, being able to communicate not only with the client, but with Rachel. Talking to her and understanding what she needs based on, unspoken, communication. When she's talking to me about things and understanding, and this is the business mindset, what she's actually asking of me. She'll be talking about something she's maybe overwhelmed about, something that she's, excited about. Well, that means, okay, well, let's start shifting processes to take that stress off of her, and shifting our goals towards the other way, which is kind of what she's excited about.
And you're really good at that. When I bring up an idea, I'm talking, she'll throw out ideas. Well, do you think maybe we should try this? And that could help. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. So, and that's just her innovation and her listening and her trying to help, which is amazing. So it's definitely a good trait to have. Yeah.
I feel like this is the skill my wife knows I do not possess. The wife language where they say the one thing and I just listen to the one thing, not the thing that's behind that thing.
Just say that with thing. A woman. We get
just
I'm not really talking about this thing. I'm talking about
say.
this thing over here.
Right. Why didn't you just say that thing?
Rachel and I have a special marriage.
Yes.
We do.
I see that. It seems like a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that the anticipation of needs is huge in this job. Honestly, just seeing what's going on and based on that, predicting what she will need. So I'm not always right, but sometimes I am.
Well, yeah, but just even having that mindset to put the effort in to try even is huge, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the opposite of that, or part of that, I would say, if somebody was trying to hire for your role, what would you warn them would be probably a major red flag to watch out for somebody who wouldn't be a fit?
The biggest red flag is ego. This is a partnership, and I can have ideas and they can be shot down. Same thing, I am an extension of Rachel. When someone's like, I wish there was another one of me. That's what your assistant is supposed to be. So while I may have ideas or things that may improve maybe productivity, if it goes against kind of what is in her vision, I need to be okay with that because it's not about me. So ego is the number one killer of the relationship between the assistant and who they're the assistant for.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's
a
huge.
great answer. You're
really
hired.
Good. Yeah,
Thanks.
She's great.
When do I start?
How did I land you?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Talking salary? No, just kidding.
I know. Fine, you get a raise.
Who's the duplicate of you?
Right?
Oh, actually, my business manager, Catherine.
And then who's the duplicate of her?
We have not found that person yet.
This turned into that movie Duplicity or whatever that was. Yeah, awesome.
Multiplicity.
Multiplicity. That was it. Yes. Good job.
Casey and I.
She even gets the movies right.
Casey and I have already talked about getting Casey an assistant, so that's happening eventually.
Perfect.
Yeah, when we can afford it. Okay, let's get into some examples of a story of when you've dealt with a difficult customer and how you've handled it.
That's never happened. Do you have examples of that?
I'm excited to hear. I'm like, who is it? Don't say any names in case they listen.
No, there's no names. Rachel knows this because she was in this one. We were all in this together. And it wasn't necessarily an agent. It was the homeowner. And we had this wonderful shoot that came back. And not only were the colors too cold, there was this wonderful apple green backsplash that had under cabinet lighting that cast this, it made it look yellow underneath. So it was like apple green and then yellow. And so the agent messaged and kind of let us know, hey, we want to warm things up and we need to fix this backsplash. I was like, okay, great. So I sent it off. Had our editor kind of work on it. And then I uploaded it that night and I deleted the old photos so there wasn't any confusion. And the next morning I get this email about the apple green backsplash. And I'm going, what is going on? And the email is actually forwarded from the homeowner. And I'm going, no, I had those fixed. And so I'm messaging back and forth like, no, we had those fixed. Only to find out the homeowner was looking at the brokerage provided website that he had already uploaded these photos. And so I had been going back and forth with our editor going, this needs to be fixed. And the homeowner's like, well, it needs to be fixed and it's not fixed. I'm like, but it is fixed.
It wasn't just that. It was the black carpet was the wrong color. The ankles were bad. Like it was everything. It was everything. And then she showed, I had to go reshoot it. And she showed me the pictures that she wanted it to look like. And they legit were shot with a cell phone. These were listing photos that she had done in like 2005. And she was like, I love these and the look of them. I'm like, those were shot with someone's cell phone and not edited. I'm like, well, we don't shoot like that. That's not what this looks like. So what she said to me when I walked in? She looks at me, she looks me up and down and she goes, you look like someone that would know what aesthetic means. And I was like, thank you. I think. Okay, this is going to be fun. I was like, great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she was a toughie.
One of the most frustrating parts of that was as I kept sending images back to be warmed up. I think there were about 4 different times I sent it back to our editor to warm it up. And I kept uploading them to HD Photo Hub and deleting the old ones, kept doing it. And we kept getting the comment of, there is no change.
Oh gosh.
And I'm going, what is going on? And then light bulb. I said, dear agent, please refresh your browser.
Oh my gosh.
And he refreshed his browser.
Yeah.
Voila.
Yeah.
Images were there the whole time.
Yeah. That happens a lot, more than you'd think. The refresh your browser or just give it 5 minutes and,
Yes. And this was a multiple day thing. It ended up being shot a week before. And then it ended up being something we were going back and forth on probably for a week.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a nightmare for sure.
It was just a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She was telling me that the shooter who shot it came in and just didn't even care at all. I'm like, you weren't even here for the shoot. What are you talking? Like, they did a fine job. Whatever. This isn't a design shoot. Okay. This is real estate. Anyways, good job, Casey.
Crazy.
You handled that well. And like for you not to lose your shiz when they're like, that's important. You can't give them attitude. You can't show them that you're annoyed. You like actually figured it out and solved the problem. So good job. Good
Dear
job.
ChatGPT, how do I say
She does that all the time.
How do I
have
give
some-
someone the middle finger without actually doing it?
You
Thank
and
for
Neal.
asking.
You guys always think to ask it these like emotional questions. I'm like, that's really smart. Very smart.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about a little bit about your impact on the business and what ways do you think that you've helped grow or improve FMC?
I feel because you are the face of the business and being in front of agents is the most important thing that you can do to grow your business. Being able to step into your shoes and allow you to do that is the only way the business could have grown without you, without it imploding from the inside and you just, dealing with burnout.
Completely losing my mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel that being able to take that consistent pressure off of that constant communication with agents and dealing with fixes and scheduling allows you to just go out there and just grow and create and make relationships because business is about relationships.
Right.
And now you don't have to worry about that. I'll take care of it. And so that's the only way that the business can actually grow.
Yeah, I think that's been huge because I've been able to network. I've been able to take a day off and recoup and come and show up and be my best self, like be able to go out and create reels and meet new people. Yeah, definitely 100%. That's totally helped. And you've helped the shooters, I think.
Yeah,
too.
being able to just
Support.
be present for their needs.
Right.
Because a lot of things happen on, during shoots, or even I get a lot of phone calls in between shoots to just chat. Because sometimes they just need someone to talk to, and that's totally fine. I've met some really awesome people, made some good friends with them. So just being supportive, honestly, just being a support system for the clients and for Rachel and for the shooters.
That's great.
Yeah.
So where do you think your role is going from here? You said earlier that, it's kind of evolving and figuring things out. If you had to tell the future, what do you think is going to be the direction, or what would you like to be the direction of your role?
You can talk about it. Permission granted.
There's something here I didn't know about. I've accidentally hit gold, a little vein of gold.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to talk about it, right?
Oh, now we have to hear. Juicy.
Well, foundationally, I love being the passenger in this car with Rachel. So she's like, hey, Casey, this is where we're going. And I'm like, sweet, let's go. So do I talk about it, Rachel?
Yeah, because we're launching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Rachel and I are working on some courses.
And Neal.
And oh my gosh.
And Neal.
And I'm sorry, Neal. Yes, and Neal.
I'm not married to in this. You two are very clearly married. I'm a third wheel.
So seeing what it is for the vision for the future, honestly, would be me being able to have an assistant to manage the customer service so that I can work with Rachel and Neal to help build the courses and help with all of, the behind the scenes things that are needed for this course. So that's kind of what I'm kind of hoping for.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which
Yeah.
kind of brings her into a higher level role versus just doing, because you do customer service for real estate photography for a couple years and it becomes a little not like redundant. You're doing the same thing every day. It's not
Nice
really
to have a
pushing.
change.
Yeah, it's nice to have a change. It's nice to be challenged. So to add, kind of level her up a little bit, and we'll go up to help manage with the courses and help with that, the ads that go out and the content and all that, and helping setting up the systems. And she could just kind of run behind the scenes would be fantastic. And then that would require us to have another admin, part-time or full-time, running the real estate photography business. So we'll see.
And are you excited about those new challenges?
Oh, I definitely am. Yeah. That's one thing that I've loved about getting into all of this is because it's something brand new and the learning curve is kind of steep. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So someone who likes a challenge. Yeah.
And I make her get on camera, which she just loves.
I love it. I love it. I'm required.
You're really good in reels, by the way. She's made some really funny reels on her own for her own business.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you've been holding out on me.
Oh, now you're in trouble. Now she knows you can get on camera.
I just don't watch them. I just post them and don't care.
Yes.
Well, that's the way to be. That's good. Yeah.
Get it out there.
Awesome.
People love it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the social media stuff. So what's the biggest struggle so you handle some of the social media and you help create some of the social media. What are some of the biggest challenges there and how do you get that done?
Completely. I don't know. Honestly, the hardest thing is making sure that Rachel has enough time to do the reels that she needs.
Which I don't ever. I'm like, I don't know, just put something else. Do something else.
When in doubt, put a property reel on there or a tip, or just one thing that I have learned is just to be top of mind. Is we have this plan and the plans look great. We spend hours on these plans and I'm look at them going, I have my life together now. This will be amazing. And it never goes to plan ever.
Yeah.
So having plan B, C, and D and just figuring it out is perfect.
Yeah.
So, but the biggest thing and the biggest struggle is to adapt how I would approach social media as if I were Rachel, making sure that the voice is consistent. And, is it something that I would hear her say as I'm talking to her? Making sure the voice is consistent and all the branding is consistent. So when she reads it, it's as if she wrote it. So that's kind of the biggest struggle that I've had is just to get out of my own head because I'm not huge myself with social media personally, just being able to kind of make that something that's important to me because it's important to her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard one too. When we tried dabbling in some of the social media stuff for real estate agents, it was difficult to kind of, especially when you have more than one client, to try and figure out how to say it in a way that they were going to accept, let alone sound like their voice,
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she does a good job though. Definitely. I think for us, we've had a lot more meetings about social media. We're trying to put in like dates of the month. Like we have to have it pre-planned by this date and then it needs to be approved by this date. And then it needs to be posted and scheduled by this date of the month, which I think we need to have a meeting today because we're already falling behind.
We're falling behind.
We're already behind. You're like, record your reels, Rachel. I have a whole sheet of reels that I was supposed to record yesterday, but I recorded a course and it took 4.5 hours, not 2 hours. So none of the reels got done. But
that's the biggest thing with content. You think, oh yeah, this is going to take an hour. It doesn't. It never does. How is it ever taken that long? No, it takes 4 times as long. That's about right. Yeah,
it does.
But then, we planned in April a content creation day. I was going to drive up because I live 2 hours away. Drive up. We were going to do content creation day. It was going to be great. Well, I got on the freeway and an hour in, I got stuck in a traffic jam with a burning truck. And it took me 3.5 hours to go a mile. So
my God,
our content creation day we couldn't do it.
And then busy season hit and we literally, we never rescheduled. We still haven't done it. And we had so many good reel ideas. We had so many.
Listen, do not move any closer, okay? Because I was going to ask, how is it that the only thing you're not doing is you're not waking up to shovel the stalls for Rachel's horse shit? And I know why. It's because you're 2 hours away. That's the perfect distance. Just close enough you can visit, but not close enough that you're shoveling horse poop.
I have to shovel sheep poop. I
Oh.
have my own little farm here.
Oh my gosh, you guys are samesies. You really are twins.
She has ducks and chickens.
Oh. Do you have like duck eggs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting. And you eat those. Do they taste the same as regular eggs?
So I found out the hard way that I'm actually allergic to duck eggs.
Oh, wow.
So one time I ate them, it made me realize I can't eat them ever again. But
Not
my
the
daughter
same.
loves them a lot.
Oh, really?
I've had them. They're good. They're just very rich. Like you can't. I made 2 scrambled eggs, and they're bigger than regular chicken eggs, right? But I made 2 of them, and I could barely finish them because they're just a little bit. The texture's different. They cook differently. They don't scramble up as well. They kind of are more separated.
I pictured smaller in my head too. That's bigger. Oh,
they're bigger. Yeah, they're good.
interesting.
Okay,
there's
Casey
our
has to
random
leave.
fun fact for you.
Yeah, Casey has to leave in like 8 minutes, so I want to get
Yeah.
a couple more.
What are
questions
the
out of her. We
most-
want some
let's-
dirt. Give us some dirt, Casey.
Oh my gosh.
What do you enjoy most about working with FMC?
Oh, Lord.
That's the opposite of dirt. What do
I
you
know.
hate about working with
What's the most surprising thing you've learned since starting this role?
Oh, the most surprising thing is that, and it still gets me every time because it makes me think, I don't know if y'all watch The Office at all, but it's one of my favorite shows.
Mm-hmm.
Neal, do you watch The Office?
Oh, yeah. Good show.
Okay.
I've watched both. Have you seen the original version?
Yes.
Ricky
I love
Gervais?
both of them.
You got to watch that too. Yeah.
Yes, I love them. Whenever I talk to agents or whenever they call, it doesn't matter. Clockwork. It's first name, last name, brokerage. First name, last name, brokerage. And it just gets me because I just keep thinking, Bob Vance Refrigeration all the time. I just want to laugh so hard, but can't. It happens every time they call. Hi, this is so-and-so from this brokerage. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, every time. It gets me every time.
Every time.
Outstanding.
You're like, why do I care about your brokerage?
I don't care. I don't.
Brokerage.
It doesn't give me any
Hilarious.
information needed to move forward with what I
Right.
need to do. So
It must just be part of their title. Like it
it's
just is ingrained into their brain or something because they do that. You're right.
Yeah.
Really?
That's hilarious.
That's weird. Luckily my clients don't do that because it feels very put on and cold and like robotic and car salesman-ish, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and I laugh every time. It's an inside thought. I never say it out loud. Inside.
Thank you for sharing.
Love it.
That's awesome.
So I mean, and honestly, one of the biggest things that I've learned that's so wild to me is how picky some things can be. And I understand some things with pickiness, but I remember when I was asked to edit out, there was a screw that was coming out of a board, and it was like barely coming out of a board. And it was a big thing, and it needed to be back ASAP because they needed to go live. They couldn't go live without it.
Nobody's going to buy that house.
And I was just like, oh my gosh.
Okay.
I do a lot of like chuckling, little laughs.
Yep.
Yep.
It's
I know.
shocking sometimes. It really is. That's a good
Yes.
example. That was a really good example. How do you balance multiple responsibilities without feeling overwhelmed?
In all honesty,
Those-
I don't.
I was going to say, doesn't
Like, she
happen.
doesn't.
That doesn't happen. Yeah.
We don't ever.
No. I mean, to say that I don't get overwhelmed would be a lie. The nice thing is I am behind a computer, so no one sees it. So sometimes I just get up from my computer and take a walk. But honestly, my checklist is huge. I would feel more overwhelmed if I felt there was more of a to-do list in my brain than was on paper. If I was thinking, I missed something, I must have missed something. Oh my gosh, I know I've heard of something or thought of something. If I don't get it out of my brain, then I would feel way more overwhelmed. A lot of the overwhelmness is not necessarily from the job itself, and most people could probably attest to this, because it's not just the information that comes in. It's the fact that, the dogs come in or the kids come in, or next thing you know, you're just getting dinged from all of these devices and the overwhelmingness of being overstimulated. All the things all at once, kind of like that one day. Next thing you know, it was like all or nothing. So the best way is to acknowledge I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm going to sit here and I'm either going to snack or I'm going to go for a walk. And I feel that acknowledging it, but in the end, it's all about action. Are you going to get your stuff done? yes, we're just going to get it all done and be like, yeah, I deal with being overwhelmed all the time. And that's okay.
I like the way how you prioritize your checklist too. I think that's really smart.
Mhm.
That way, you know, like what really needs to happen now. It's funny. Sometimes I give you a little to-do list when I'm talking to you, and I can hear you over there. You're like, okay. And you're writing it down. You're like, make sure I call and get the house number. And I'm like, she's not going to remember that. Like, it's so easy. But I have to, like, that's what I think in my head. But little do I know that you have 16 other tasks that literally just came in. So you're just putting it on your list, you know? But yeah, you really do rely on that list very heavily.
Well, and I like that idea, just that thought process of it doesn't weigh on her once it's on the paper.
Right.
And it's organized, that it's out. It can now relax. But yeah, because I hate the feeling of forgetting something. What didn't I do? That's a terrible feeling. So I love that. That's a simplest way to get rid of it. Everything is written down and organized in importance. It sounds like such a simple thing, but very, very powerful.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The mental load of holding all of that is too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
sure. I used to use my notes app with a little check box, and I'd have all the things when I'd be out shooting. I just write it in my notes app, and then I do it when I got home. Just bust through it, you know? So yeah, you got to get it out or you're going to forget. Things I didn't put on there, I'd always forget every time. I failed. I'm like, dang it. Didn't put it in my notes app. Okay. With time for one. What?
Not too long ago, I ran out of ink, so I couldn't reprint because I have some non-negotiables that I have to do every single day. And so I knocked those out first thing, and I couldn't print it out. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I obviously just grabbed a piece of paper. But when I have this routine that just keeps things moving, the last thing I want to do is put more mental effort into creating a different routine, even for a short time.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, good job. Good job keeping it all organized. Okay. Last question for you, Casey. What advice would you give to someone taking on a similar role in a small business?
I feel like the most important thing is the relationship that you have with the person that you're working for. Because at the end of the day, I can be overwhelmed by tasks and agents and photographers. But if my basically my heart and my duty is to serving this person that I'm such good friends with, then I'll push through all of that. You know, all of the other parts of the business will change, but the person that you're working for is just going to evolve because you're there. So if you're dedicated to that person, you can get past all of the difficult parts and the really hard parts and the good parts of the business side. And so, you know, skills you can learn, but if you're working for someone who doesn't appreciate you, doesn't pay you well, and ultimately just, in essence, doesn't appreciate you, then you're going to become resentful and you're not going to love what you do, and then ultimately not show up as your best self.
Yeah.
So make sure it's a good fit.
Time to get out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good fit.
So don't work for people that suck.
Yeah.
And how about just don't suck, and then you'll find people who work for you too.
Exactly.
That's
there
true.
You go.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Casey, for coming on. You're amazing.
Welcome.
You have seriously helped in so many ways, and you've been just such a blessing in my life. So thank you. I appreciate you.
You have been a blessing in my life too. So you know, it's been mutual. So
good. Yay. Yes. I don't suck. Yay.
You don't.
All right. We'll catch you guys on the next one, and reach out on social media if you have any questions for Casey, and I'll relay the message to her and get an answer to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Casey. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.